G'day, this is Captainoob. This is a quad railway rifle with 40% more bash damage. The prefix on this is awesome because the railway rifle, as standard, only has 10 rounds in its magazine capacity. So having 40 at our disposal, especially with an automatic one, is going to be huge. We're going to be able to spam this for a while before we need to stop firing, which is great. The secondary effect, the major effect, bashing damage, is kind of useless. I'd much prefer an explosive. Yeah, that'd be good. Quad explosive wireless railway rifle. That is my probably recommended railway rifle if you can ever find one. Don't bother with bloodied quad is better because of that ammo capacity increase. So another thing about the railway rifle that we all know about and I'm really glad of, this thing actually is able to, you know, be boosted from either commando perks or rifleman perks, which is good stuff. So we can actually make this thing do damage other than, you know, adding bloody mess to this. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to be using this as an automatic platform, so commando perks will go in to increase our damage, and we're not going to be using ground pounder on this. Instead, we're going to be using tank killer, and that'll allow us to punch through a little bit more armor and have a little bit more chance of stagger. Usually, I like to put ground pounder on if I want to hip fire these rifles and reload them quicker, but the reload is pretty quick anyway. We've got speed demon and the hip fire accuracy. Honestly, we're going to be aiming down sights most of the time because this thing's recoil is wildly uncontrollable. We'll get to that in a second because it's been a while since I've actually done a railway rifle. So bloody mess goes on, which gives us 158 damage, which is pretty damn solid, yes. And just to give you a little bit of an idea of how much harder this is hitting, I had this hitting in the original video for 99 damage, so a very powerful increase there, yes. Alright, so now I've got all the attachments for this, including one of the prime receivers, which does do a whole lot of damage when you compare it to the standard semi-auto one. So it's a semi-auto prime receiver doing a lot more damage, but we're going to be using this as auto, like I said before. We've got a long barrel now, which will increase our range, means we do more damage at range. We don't have to worry about the bullet drop-off or... well, not bullet drop-off, but damage drop-off. Recoil compensating stock, it really doesn't do anything, to be honest. This thing's recoil is still super high, so maybe they ought to take a look at that. Reflex light for VATS use and for enhanced zooming in. It's easy to scope in on targets with that reflex light. Now, having the bash damage increase by 40%, I'm kind of tempted just to throw this on for shits and gigs. I never usually bash. That's going to make our range worse. How much worse, by the way? Quite a lot worse. Tell you what, maybe I'll chuck that on when we get to a ghoul section because we might run out of spikes, but for now we're going to be using this for the most range as possible, and obviously having that bash damage increase makes it all the tempting, but yep, we'll chuck that on later, I suppose. Alrighty, so here we are outside of Moody's Plaza. We've just got the standard chameleon stuff and stand fast on as usual, and here are my buffs, so I've got a little bit more perception for the next 4 minutes. Isn't that nice? That'll help us out in VATS a little bit, won't it? Let's see. Oh, yeah, 95 torso from all the way over here. Anyways, let's just get started on these muties. 3 shots there got us. Now, you might be wondering why I'm not holding down the trigger with this. That is because it's got a whole lot of recoil to it. It's so much recoil that basically you can only use it in very close quarters like that. Also, you can pick spikes off corpses, which is a good way of conserving ammo. Yes, I did mention that last time. The only reason that I do choose the automatic one is because you can fire it basically as fast as you want. You can control the firing to make it, you know, you can fire it faster than you could with the regular barrel or the regular semi-auto receiver, but you can control it a little bit to, you know, get that rate of fire perfect. But if you want to control the recoil, or maybe you'd like master it controlling recoil, you can just let it. But that's what it's like. It's too much. It's too much. Anyway, so damage is at 60% now, giving us 275. Also, the railway rifles are still very durable, which is a nice bonus. Even though we haven't got a suppressor, there's still very little reason not to use the stealth commando tactics here, even though we're firing this off kind of semi-auto, but we can go in third person if we want to have a look at this thing. So here's the reload animation, by the way. It's quick, it's really quick, so I don't think there's any use on putting ground pounder on, and we do increase our damage output by virtue of armor penetration, and we do detected from what? Yes, we do increase our armor penetration from tank killer, so I think it's worth it to chuck that on instead. So it'll be a little bit more efficient on your railway spikes, which are easier to get because basically you just get steel from anywhere and change them on a workbench. It's quite simple, really. I'm feeling pretty good at the moment because I actually got all of these mods myself. I figured out a nice way of actually doing it because prior to recording this, like a couple of hours back, it took me a while to farm them, unfortunately, but prior to recording this, I had basically no mods. I had the reflex sight, which is what I always want to put on these things because any form of scope is overkill in a weapon that, you know, doesn't really hit all that hard. Are they shooting at me? What the hell are they shooting at? I don't really know. Probably shooting at me. Once we get detected, there's probably no going back. So, yep, looks like there's going to be no stealth commandoing in here, is there? No, all of these guys have just bugged. See, they're shooting at walls, but they think I'm there. It's really weird. Maybe they've got some enhanced sensors going on. They're all talking via radio or something. But as you can tell, I'm not even holding down the trigger, and I'm killing these guys very, very quickly. I can go on these close quarters attacks and just completely melt them with my railway rifle. You know, it's really hard to say. I always say railway rifle. It's terrible. I feel like a fucking spastic. But still, very, very good damage out of this thing, and I'm glad to say that it's finally good. Like, obviously... Oh, hang on. I wasn't meant to reload there. I've still got another fucking 13 spikes to go. Alright. Just get that reloaded. We'll just forget that happened. And, yep. Even though I did fuck up pretty badly there, the railway rifle was easily able to get me out of that nonsense. Although, using ground pounder right here would be good just for that extra hip-fire accuracy indeed. Unlucky stagger there. See, I don't like being stun-locked in this game. It's kind of annoying. If it was up to me, I'd get pneumatic bits on all of my combat armor, but, you know, having strength 2 and being a rifles character means that you're not really able to have that liberty. Alright, so I don't think we've got the control room sorted out yet, so we'll quickly jump up there. And since all of the firing is stopped, we're back into caution, which means we can go back into stealth commandoing, at least for now. Still aggroed down there. It's nice that they've all stopped shooting at nothing now. That was weird. Weird super mutant behavior. It's happened before. It's definitely not a new thing. Although they haven't given this game a patch yet, have they? They haven't done that in quite a while, actually. They've slowed down a little bit, actually. But at least they've changed some of the weapons to be good. There's still a ways to go with broadside of Bethesda. I've got no fucking clue how you're going to fix it if you intend it to be a cannonball thing, because the projectile's too slow and the explosion never goes where it ought to go. Maybe if you make it scale from heavy gunner and just make it do a whole lot of damage, and maybe you could make some... Maybe you could actually make it good out of that. Who even knows? But at least for the railway rifle, case closed, this thing is good. There is a use for it. The question is whether you want to carry this thing around where it's not a hit scan weapon, so as you can tell there, that super mutant skillfully dodged my attacks. I mean, it's not really noticeable in here, but as you get out to range, you'll definitely notice this thing not being able to hit something at range. There's like a tiny little delay there. It's nothing really too noticeable, but that's the way I never put a scope on these things, because it's not worth it at all. Alright, let's just hold down the trigger. Do this Rambo style. Took a lot of hits there. We've gone through quite a few stim packs on this, so it's not the most stealthy weapon, as you can tell, because you can't put a suppressor on it for one. But, you know, if I wasn't playing so aggressively, I'd be able to, you know, not use all of these stim packs via Born Survivor, but still, it is going very, very well indeed. It's a nice little boost to this thing, which has made it actually usable now, which is really good. And we're hidden. We are done here. Let's chuck that bayonet on and see if we can chop up some ghoulies with it. Alright, so if I can't kill a ghoul with this bayonet on the front of this, I'm just gonna, you know, destroy it or take it off and then never put it back on. Ooh, okay, we've got the traps here. That means no one else has been around for quite a while. Well, I get it that I don't have Basher, but come on. Come on. That was disappointing. Luckily for us, we've got to get all the ghoulies running for us now, because they'll definitely hear the railway rifle pinging its friggin' railway splacks to everything. Just hold it together. Don't say way away. Don't say way away. Well, that dickhead, he's got a fucking spike in his brain. Could only improve that mental capacity of yours, mate. Alright, looks like panic mode works, and oh yeah, oh, you can pin limbs, but sometimes the limbs don't disconnect, so they just fucking spaghetti out. Oh, he fucking flicked into the roof. The ceiling, actually. The ceiling and the roof's different. Ah, it's fucking Wendigo, get him. Okay, the muzzle flash is still a little bit too big on. Ooh, nuclear waste. I need those for radium rifles. Alright, let's continue. But yep, so far so good. It's been oi, I saw them go right into the fucking ceiling. Okay, looks like it's not all sunshine and rainbows with our railway rifles. That would explain why I was missing up close and personal before. Oh, it's because of the long barrel. Someone was saying this back on the flamer video. If like, at least in third person, if the enemy is like in front of your where your barrel ought to end. Maybe it doesn't happen in third person, but sometimes that happens in first person. Just sort of flicks up in the ceiling, and that was ultra noticeable on the flamethrower. But still, let's see if we can't pin some more limbs to the walls, shall we? Let's get you up. Aim for the noggin. Wait, none of that, mate. Although, to come to think of it, the fact that I am blinded by this thing whilst firing is a little bit annoying. There's just like a huge steam going on in front of me. Like a big old steam sail, it's all up in your grill. But it's a little bit annoying to deal with, I must confess. But it's nothing too game-breaking. And I'm not forgetting about you this time, mate. Huh. Uh-oh. Concentrated fire doesn't work with this. Well, guess what's being replaced with ground pounder. Now I've got the best of both worlds except for VATS gameplay. Look at that hip fire. Alright, this bayonet's coming off as useless, but we're gonna kill Swan, you'll see. Alright, so on the surface it looks okay, but a little closer examination, the cracks begin to show. Seeing not having this thing compatible with concentrated fire is certainly a kick in the head now, isn't it, Swan? You didn't ever have time to scream today, but he now is dead. Yeah, okay, so there's a little bit things that I recommend Bethesda changing in my professional opinion. This great muzzle flash, you could probably tone that down, unless you want to reduce the rate of fire of these, which I honestly don't think you should because it'll lower the DPS, but yeah, maybe lowering that a little bit on the automatics would be good. And also making this recoil compensating stock actually compensate recoil, because yeah, that's not good enough. There's too much recoil in this to be actually usable in full auto unless you're at point blank range. In that case, you probably want a shotgun instead. So little changes here and there, but all in all, it's pretty good, I guess. There's still some more to go for the railway rifle, but she's almost there. I just realized that Winter was frowning, or she was putting on the angry react when I first made the railway rifle video. I might have to make her facial expression a little bit more positive this time, I suppose. Yes. I mean, it's hard enough to aim with the reflex sight with the chameleon cloak, but then you got a big old puff of smoke in your face when you fire this thing. It makes it a little bit difficult. Of course, you can go into third person. It only covers a little bit of your screen then. So no angry reacts from Winter this time. She's going to be a little bit more impressed, I suppose. And I guess that's alright. Hey, speaking of angry reactors, we get the queen out and start kicking her ass. Facebook changed the angry react. How sad is that? I'm gonna miss the old angry react. That's terrible. Alright. Just gotta make sure we get those hits in and kill the queen. Yes! There we go. And some good old things back for me trouble. Alright, so really, really good performance out of this. It's definitely doing it in terms of damage, which is really, really good. I'm quite happy for it. And also, with that 7 steel I got there, I could make 5 more railway spikes. So, thanks, queen. Now, if you remember last time, I wasn't actually able to kill a Mirelurk Queen on my own. I had to actually get Sinister Hand to help me out. Nor a bat, and all of my chameleon bits broke last time too, which is, oh good, I got Ligma, fine. And now we can see this thing's performance at range, which is not great. So we've got no chance of hitting him here, so we're going to have to wait until he's a little bit closer. So he'll reload his ion cannons or whatever he's using to fucking shoot at me, and then he'll come back again. What I guess we can do is gather a little bit of adrenaline by shooting at his mates. Hang on, they forgot I was here? How? Oh yeah, that initial sneak attack critical was great. Unfortunately, you know, without all of those good points in concentrated fire, we're a little bit short of accuracy when it comes to the Scorch Beast, but surprisingly accurate there. They were all under 50% shot, so I'm feeling a bit lucky on this, so just let it have it. Just suppressing fire. It'll mess him up. His screen's all blurry, just like the old Battlefield games. Are you gonna land? No, you wouldn't land, would you, mate? Alright. Oh, yeah, that's the stuff. This thing seems a lot more accurate in VATS than it's letting on. Hang on, this is a double or nothing. It is, in fact, a double or nothing, and I might be out of stim pack soon. In fact, that might be my last. Ooh, she's a level 80 big. She's a big boy. She's a big boy. Nice. Okay, no, he's a big boy. Come here. See, I am a wildlife hunter person, just like Steve Irwin. Holy shit, we just minced him. And I'm able to tell the genders of Scorch Beasts by looking at them. So, you know, being a Scorch Beast Whisperer is a good idea for, you know, playing Fallout 76, because you can, the enemy is easier played if you know them well, I guess. I don't know. I think that's something that someone would say if they were like a spy or something. Anyways, that there was a quad plus bash damage. Oh yeah, that bash damage really did as well. Railway rifle. Ooh, almost fucked it there. And what a weapon this has been. This has been a great improvement. Still, I'd like to rehash my ideas on actually making this a little bit more usable. If they could tone down the muzzle flash on this so you didn't get yourself completely blinded. Hopefully they don't do this by changing the rate of fire. I'd like its rate of fire to stay where it is at, because you get plenty of DPS out of it. Hopefully they don't see it as overpowered, but I do recommend running this as an automatic weapon just to get more DPS out of it. And plus, you're only firing, what, that fast with the semi-auto one? You can fire easily double that. So it's all about the trigger discipline when it comes to that, which is really, really good stuff. Now the question is, can I get railway spikes from a corpse like I could with the harpoons? No, I can't. Well, that was a waste of spikes. Don't worry, we can get those back easily. So if you'd like to see this thing in your game, I don't know, maybe ask Market 76. Maybe some dude who doesn't know the power of railway rifles now, fucking almost fucked it again, would not know that this thing is actually really, really good. Nice shot there, mate. And we're actually out of stim packs now, so what a good time to end the video. Thank you for watching, guys.